I wouldn't talk because he did something that was inappropriate. He hired help. And I said, don't ever do that again. He stole people that work for me. I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again. And I threw him out of the place, persona non grata. I threw him out, and that was it. I'm glad I did, if you want to know the truth. And by the way, I never went to the island, and Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times. I never went to the island, but Larry Summers, I hear, went there. He was the head of Harvard. And many other people that are very big people. Nobody ever talks about them. I never had the privilege of going to his island. And I did turn it down, but a lot of people in Palm Beach were invited to his island. In one of my very good moments, I turned it down. I didn't want to go to his island. Yeah. For years,
You have said that you have not been briefed on the Epstein files, or your name has not appeared in the Epstein files. But doesn't the AG have to tell you if your name is...
Well, I haven't been overly interested in it. You know, it's a hoax that's been built up way beyond proportion. I can say this, those files were run by the worst scum on earth. They were run by Comey, they were run by Garland, they were run by Biden and all of the people that actually ran the government, including the auto pen. Those files were run for 4 years by those people. If they had anything, I assume they would have released it. The whole thing is a hoax. They ran the files. I was running against somebody that ran the files. If they had something, they would have released. Now, they can easily put something in the files that's a phony. Those files were run by bad, sick people.
You have said that you have not been briefed on the Epstein.
If they had anything, why didn't they use it when I was killing Joe and then he gave out because he was 25 points down? And then I got somebody new. Nobody even knew anything about it. She was a horrible vice president. But think of it. Those files were run by these people. They were run by my enemy. If there was anything in there, they would have used them for the election. If they had anything, why didn't they use it when I was killing...
Yeah, so, when it comes to that, like I said, when it comes to Epstein's files, he wants to run away for it, but people keep asking me about the Epstein's files, and we talked about the other week that, that when it comes to DOG, he was allegedly on the list. So, go ahead, Roddy, man. Do you think the Epstein files will ever go away for President Trump?
Oh no! And while President Trump is still in office, people gonna continue to bring up the Epstein file because that's one thing he promised. He promised to release the Martin Luther King file, which he did, and now everybody's waiting on the promise he made when it comes to aspect of the Epstein file. Now he said the Epstein file is a big hoax, but however, how do you know that if it was a big hoax? How do you know that Bill Clinton went to the private island then if it was a hoax? So it throw out his whole argument of everything when it comes to aspect of the Epstein file. It makes him look like a liar. And that's not good because everybody already kind of knew Trump was lying on a lot of things. But one thing he's lying about right now is major when it comes to aspect of the Epstein file. To me, if he never went to none of Epstein's event, go ahead, release the file. Show it. But we all know they're not going to show it because, like I stated, there was a lot of high power elites that was at Epstein's island. And that thing get disclosed, Jordan and Hakeem is not going to look good. Go ahead, Hakeem, your thoughts on the Epstein file.
So this whole campaign was to get the files released, and it still hasn't been released. So we should all know that in these political worlds, you're never going to get what you want. They do a lot of talking, but they don't show. This typical textbook politician stuff. We might see it one day. Hopefully somebody at the White House will leak it. You know what I mean? Like they always do. Leakers. You know what I mean? And we'll get it from that. But other than that, I don't think we're not going to see it for the next couple of years.
I don't know, fellas. Now, the more I think about it, the more they kept talking about the Epstein's files. And I said this before, I feel like in his turn, it might not be this year or next year, I have a feeling that somebody in the White House might leak a little bit of the Epstein files when it comes to the list and everything. But if it's not names, it might be a couple names. If it not be Donald Trump, it might be Bill Clinton, which I believe he went to the islands multiple times because Bill Clinton. We heard of years and decades of how a freak what type of man he is and things like that. But um, I just like I said, I have a feeling that it might be a leak coming out soon because it's a nonstop not talk about it. We thought it would have stopped once he said he's not going to release the Epstein's files, but it keeps building and building and building. That it's a possibility that it might be leaked. So I'm hoping for it. I'm definitely hoping for it, but. Like I said, we all want to know. Even everybody in the world want to know who was on Epstein's files. And if we ever found out, it was released and Trump is on the file while he's in the presidency, woo, that would be hit big news, big news. But like I said, we'll wait and see. It might come out. It's might not come out, but I'm hopefully in his term that it might get leaked out while he's president.